In this next video, I will talk about minimalism and how it has helped me not only with my adult ballet journey, but just overall with life in general, and how it can help you as well. So stay tuned until the end. Hi dancers, welcome back to my channel, The Love Ballerina. My mission with this channel is to bring you information, inspiration, and motivation for your journey in ballet as an adult, and also to share my own adventures. My name is Natasha Connell. I'm an adult ballet dancer, teacher, blogger, and otherwise content creator. And I'm also a professor at Columbus State University in Columbus, Georgia. If these videos bring value to your life, please share them with your friends and give this video a like. So some of you might know what minimalism is, but some of you might be shaking your head and saying, Natasha, what are you talking about? What is this minimalism thing, and what does it have to do with adult ballet? Well, that's what I'm going to tell you. A minimalist approach to life means that you eliminate all the things in your life that are unnecessary. You know, all those things that ultimately just become clutter. And this is not limited to your physical environment, although that's a big part of it, but also to your emotions, to your digital clutter, to your relationships, and pretty much every single aspect of your life minimalism can be applied to. For me, this journey has taken over 4 years, I think. I first found out about minimalism casually, just doing some internet searches. I came across the Minimalist documentary, and I'll make sure to include a link to that because it's really life-changing. And when I first saw it, I was like, this is interesting, but I was really still into a lot of different things, and I didn't know if it was something that I could actually bring into my life. So I kind of just filed it into my interesting things that I might look at later folder. I really just didn't take it very seriously until about 2.5 years ago, when my husband and I found out that just to give you a little backstory, he's in active duty military, and we were stationed in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He got unexpected orders to Columbus, Georgia, which is where we are now. And at that point, we had just bought a house, about 3,000 square feet house, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and we had accumulated a lot of stuff. And I went actually to a conference in Atlanta, so I decided to stop by in Columbus and go ahead and find us an apartment or something to live and, you know, just kind of see what was going on. And I found this amazing loft where we live now. When I came back, I think I ran into another minimalism video or something, but I got really excited about just decluttering because we had to move from this 3,000 square feet house into an open space loft where there wasn't a lot of storage. And I think the loft is about 1,700 square feet, which is still a lot of space, but I didn't want it to look cluttered. And so I started loosely doing the minimalism game. So basically every day I would start looking around, and I would get rid of one item that wasn't necessary or didn't bring me joy, that didn't spark joy, like Marie Kondo says. So it kind of became a process that I look forward to doing. Every morning, I always clean a little bit in the morning. So every morning I would just go ahead and find things that we really didn't use or that were doubles, and just started, you know, I wouldn't get rid of them right away. I put them like in a donate pile, and then that pile became really big, and it became more than one item a day. I was like zeroing in on stuff like, oh, I don't need you, oh, there's 2 of you, bye. And it just became really cathartic to do that. So once the pile got really big, I took a huge trip to Goodwill that ended up being like countless trips to Goodwill, and it just felt really good. I just felt like it released some weight from me to not have this stuff. So I continued doing that right up until we moved, and then I realized I still had a lot of stuff. So, and mind you, I was never like a hoarder type. I always was the kind of person that every year goes through the stuff and got rid of unnecessary things. But I think I wasn't quite a minimalist, because I still had, 3 whisks, and I think we had 2 crock pots at one point, just because maybe one day we were gonna make 2 roasts at once. So as I continued this process, the physical stuff started just diminishing, and that was really wonderful. I'm lucky that I'm not very attached to material things naturally, so for me it wasn't as hard as it is for some other people. So I just kept going, and then I got to the digital clutter, and that was a little bit harder, but I still found it very empowering to just go through all my files in my computer and on my phone and just get rid of everything that really wasn't important. Next came the emotional clutter, and this refers to getting rid of emotional processes and beliefs that no longer serve you, beliefs that you might have acquired when you were a child, unconsciously picked up from your parents or from your peer group or society in general, and just asking yourself, does this serve me and my life? And if not, then just change it. So I went through that. That was more like an introspective process that occurred kind of organically. Like, the crazy thing is, as I started decluttering the stuff, my mind sort of asked me like, hey, you need to do this for me as well. So I did that. And then the next thing was relationships. I realized that I don't need to be friends with or hang out with anybody that I didn't feel that brought value to my life and brought enjoyment. Like, just because, they're a family friend or something, if I really don't enjoy that person, I realize like, hey, I don't need to, go to their party just because it's like socially expected. So I started being a lot more selective with people that I let into my life. Another aspect of minimalism for me, and I think for a lot of people, was the downsizing of unnecessary and unenjoyable activities. And I think this is like the one that really connects it to my dance experience. So I was always trying to find more time to go to ballet class and participate in ballet in one way or another. So at one point I don't know if I have talked about this before, but I definitely will more in the future. I had a fitness studio where there was adult ballet as a modality, but there was also 4 more, and I was practicing them all. So I was practicing yoga, I was practicing high interval training, I was lifting weights, I was running, I was doing obstacle races. And yeah, I could do all of those things, but I wasn't really getting that much better at any of them because my time was so extremely scattered. So slowly I started to say, okay, maybe I need to let go of obstacle racing because it's really not my favorite thing. And if I don't do that, then I can go to ballet classes on the weekends. And moved to Columbus, I started working at a fitness studio here, and I was still teaching adult ballet and all those other modalities, which were really cool, and I really enjoyed them, but I still realized that at the end of the day, after teaching 4 or 5 different classes, just the attention residue was too big for me. I couldn't just concentrate on ballet. So with the help of minimalism, I made the decision that I'm just gonna pretty much cut everything else out except for some cross-training conditioning that was going to help me as a ballet dancer, The only things that I still left in my routine was Pilates, gyrotonics, and light weight training. And also here where we live, right by the river, there's a beautiful area to ride bikes. So that's something we usually do on the weekends. I eliminated unnecessary things from my life, unnecessary physical things, unnecessary commitments, unnecessary activities, relationships even, unnecessary pursuits of any kind. I found more time to concentrate on what brought me the ultimate joy, which is doing ballet. I would highly recommend to you guys that you look into the minimalism philosophy, because it's really, I think for a lot of us, we have such busy lives and we have so many interests that it really gives us a high level of anxiety to think about, I really enjoy doing this and I wish I could do it more, but I can't because I also have this yoga and I have this running club and then I have PTA and then I have fill in the blank here, whatever it is that you're filling your day with that's not giving you that joy, that is something that you really, really love. Why are you doing it? And some of you might say, well, Natasha, I have to do it because, it's something for my kids or for my husband or for my wife or my girlfriend. Yes, I understand that, but I think that you think that people care a little bit more than they actually do. If you stop doing these things, it doesn't mean that people are going to stop loving you. I think the reason we try to do all this stuff is because there's this thing called the fear of missing out. So if something is like the trend in exercise, or the hot new thing to do, like wine and paint or something, and we just feel like we have to do it, we have to experience it. But as a minimalist, you might switch from that mindset into thinking, well, is this something that is going to really help me get to my ultimate joy goal, which is, for some of us, getting better at ballet. So if the answer is no, then maybe skip it. I think at this point I can finally call myself a true minimalist, because now I find myself that during that time in the morning when I clean and I am zeroing in on stuff to get rid of, it's definitely like a lot less. Like now I'll find maybe a pencil or something, but everything that we have now in the loft is things that either me or my husband or the kids or the pets use on a regular basis, or it's something that we really, really love or like really, really need. A lot of the superfluous decor is gone. So as you can see here behind me is this beautiful ballet themed, it's actually not a painting, it's a room divider, but I kind of like hanging it on the wall. And there is a few things that are important, but otherwise it's pretty minimal in the decor and in furniture as well. Whenever I wake up and I see that, it just makes me really happy. It's also really easy to clean, and that means more time for me to stretch and do ballet. One way becoming a minimalist will help your journey in ballet as an adult is that since our time is already filled with other obligations, I'm sure that a lot of you have a job outside the house that you have to go through. So, at this moment, that might be a non-negotiable. You can't just get rid of that job. And some of us are studying at university, and you do have some kids' activities that you have to attend. There's some obligations that like I said, are non-negotiable. So if you eliminate the ones that you can and just concentrate on doing the ones that you are doing well, then you will have more time. For example, if you enjoy going to adult ballet classes or doing them on your own, and you say, oh, I can only do this once a week because I also go to this other fitness class, and then, like I said, I go to this running group, and then I have my knitting group and my book club, whatever. I'm just like giving you random examples, right? You probably do other things. Let me know what kind of things you do that maybe you want to stop doing. I would love to hear it. Maybe you can make a list of all the activities that you do that you don't have to do, that you do for another reason, be it fun or peer pressure or somebody got you into it, whatever. Make a list and then pick three most important ones. And hopefully doing adult ballet will be in the top 3, right? And then look at the other 2, or rather look at all 3 and very, very mindfully analyze them and think about how much you enjoy doing them and how do you see yourself doing them in the future, and then go ahead and get rid of another one, and then you will have 2. And if this is your first time doing something like this, I would say leave it at that, or maybe just stop at the 3 if that's kind of like, if it creates resistance to get rid of the 3rd activity, leave it, come back to that later, and then just cancel them out. Just stop doing those activities, and whatever time you spend doing them, fill it up with your first top 2 or top 3. So you may ask, well, Natasha, that's great, but I really have a lot of stuff, and how does that affect my adult ballet life? Well, having a lot of stuff means that you have to spend a lot of time organizing stuff, cleaning it, maintaining it, having it repaired, taking care of it. And if you're the kind of person that have always felt that they need to have a lot of stuff, chances are you spend a lot of time shopping for new stuff. So once you take inventory of your stuff, it will become a lot easier for you, because you will only spend a very short time having to maintain and take care of the things, and you will have more time for your favorite things. The big piece of resistance that I encounter to this usually is sentimental items like heirlooms and things that people give you as gifts, things that represent a happy time. Well, I will address this in a separate video, but the way I came to believe through the minimalism philosophy is that the joy is in the memories of the experience that we had when we acquired those things. Like, for example, if you have your baby's first onesie saved up, that onesie doesn't mean anything. What means a lot is the memory of holding your baby for the first time wearing that little outfit. So you can always just take a picture of it, and the memory is here and here. It's not in the object. And it's very important to be aware of that. Once you internalize that, it'll be so much easier to get rid of things. Things weight you down, and when you're not weighed down, you have time, and not only physical time, but you have the mental freedom to go different places in real time and in your mind. Minimalism has been a growing trend. The popularity of it has grown exponentially because a lot of people are starting to realize the benefits of a life with less, with only what we need and what we enjoy and nothing else. And this doesn't have to mean a life of scarcity by any means. You can be a minimalist and you can have nice things. You can just have less of them. Let me just closely relate this to ballet a little more. For example, when I first started doing ballet, I thought I had to have every style of leotard in every color, every type of warm-up thing that I could find, every type of shoe. Oh, so many things. And then I spent a lot of time stressing over what I was gonna wear to class. So since I did the whole minimalist thing, now I only have, how many leotards do I have? About 5, because that's about how many days I take or give class. So that's what I have, and they're in a very similar color palette. So every week I just wash them and then I wear them again, and then I don't have to think about it. I just grab one of them. Once I get tired of it, I'll donate it and I'll allow myself to buy another one. But before, I just, God forbid there was a discount dance sale and I got that email because the packages would come. And maybe later I'll also do a video about my capsule wardrobe, which is basically a very simplified wardrobe, custom designed by me for my life and my needs. That I think my wardrobe has about 40 something items in it right now. And so every time I go get dressed in the morning, everything matches, everything goes together, everything that is in there I love. So I don't spend any time thinking about getting dressed in the morning. As I'm getting dressed, I'm probably thinking about a new choreography or about a new video or about how to improve my arabesque. I think I'm always thinking about that. How can I deliver a better teaching to my students? When I am driving home from work, I am not thinking about, oh my God, I have to wash all these clothes, because I know that my house is already clean because I spend 15 minutes in the morning cleaning it. I know that nothing is going to be out of place unless, the cat knocks something over, and there's not that much to knock over, so that's another plus. And then I'm driving home, I'm thinking about how happy I am going to be to see my family, and maybe about what will I create tomorrow. Sometimes ideas just pop when your mind is free, not only of its own mental clutter, but when your mind is free of the chains of the physical stuff. That's the time when ideas will just pop into your head and your creativity will feel like it actually can come forward. Because if you have all this clutter of different types, you're just basically going through the day, getting to the next day, and you're not actually fully living in your own creative spirit and your own possibilities. So yeah, minimalism has definitely changed my life. I think the first time I really saw how great and how impactful this was is when I was able to make the decision once we moved here to Columbus that I'm going to basically concentrate on ballet as the center of my career, the center of what I do, and the ability to actually think about how I was going to do that came from the minimalist approach. Of course, I was not going to try to become a professional dancer, so I figured out other ways to incorporate ballet into my life. And one of them was to merge my health psychology doctoral studies with dance benefits as a research topic, and a lot more on that later. If I hadn't started using minimalist principles, I would have stayed stuck in that other philosophy of doing too many things and having all the separate compartments of things that I had to get done. Like, I decided to study health psychology for my doctorate because I've been in the fitness industry for a long time and I really enjoy helping people with their health. But then at first it wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna do health psychology and relate that to ballet. Those were two separate boxes. And once I started minimizing everything, I realized, like, oh yes, of course, I'm gonna continue with my PhD, but how can I make it part of ballet as well? And I'm sure this could happen for you in many different ways, but it definitely can happen. And even if you don't want to think of this as something related to your adult ballet, maybe you're just starting adult ballet and maybe it's very peripheral in your life at this point, and that's okay. I still would love to encourage you to consider practicing minimalism at one level or another, just to simplify and improve other areas of your life. Well, since this video is about minimalism, I don't want to make it very long. I'm going to make more small videos in every single aspect of my minimalist journey because it's so life-changing. I would really like to thank Ryan Nicodemus and Joshua Minimalists, the ones that made the documentary, for their amazing outreach with the content that they're creating on this topic, and they're reaching so many people and changing so many lives. And if you want to know more about them, check out the link to their documentary in the notes. Also, they have a Patreon page, and I became a supporter because I think those guys are awesome, and you can do the same, and then you can get exclusive content from them. Did you like this video? Please give it a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet.